Hey guys, welcome back to Horsetooth Cinema. Today I'm going to be reviewing Bugonia. This was directed by Yorgos Lanthimos. I'm a little bit underseen on Yorgos. I have still not seen Dogtooth or Killing of the Sacred Deer. There's still a few films I need to catch up with in his filmography. But for the most part, I've really liked what he's been doing over the past several years. Most recently with films like Poor Things with Emma Stone, which was really cool, kind of modern take on Frankenstein. With I should say modern in that there's kind of some modern ideas about infantilism and sort of like the way women are treated a little bit, and then it kind of set with the older Frankenstein ideas. And then more recently, he had this really cool provocation, I would call it, in Kinds of Kindness, this anthology film starring Emma Stone again and Willem Dafoe, Jesse Plemons. Very different segments, all of them. I didn't end up reviewing it on the channel, but if you check out my Letterboxd review, you know I really liked the film. I discussed it with Leon a little bit on my Best of the Year video last year. It just kind of has this really kind of fun, like sardonic attitude towards dark comedy that I always kind of take to. And I don't think it amounts to nothing either. Like I think it's all of the segments, for how kind of different they are textually, have kind of similar, thematic content for the most part. So I thought it was a cool little experiment. But yeah, the Bugonia, I would say, is him still kind of staying with his weirdness. Like I believe it's the same writer that he did with like Dogtooth, The Lobster, Kinds of Kindness, and I'm pretty sure he wrote this as well. And it's kind of a weird premise, but at the same time, he brings a lot of humanity to it. I think this is actually maybe along with Poor Things and The Favorite, like one of his more accessible films that he's made in the past several years. The film stars Emma Stone as well as Jesse Plemons. Emma Stone plays this character who is this like tech CEO or agriculture CEO, and she is eventually kidnapped by Jesse Plemons' character and his brother, who believe that she is an alien who from outer space who has come to Earth to essentially enslave humanity through the techno-industrialization by destroying a lot of the food supply, and they believe that if they're able to kidnap her, they can eventually find a way onto her ship and save humanity. So I think right away the film has kind of a fun, again, I would say kind of accessible premise of a thriller where you immediately identify with the Emma Stone character, in the sense that her situation is quite scary with these people abducting her, but at the same time, right at the beginning, you're also introduced to the, Jesse Plemons' character and his brother, kind of, talking about, especially the Jesse Plemons character. I think in many ways his brother is kind of along for the ride, but him sort of talking about his ideas for why he's motivating himself to do the things that he's doing. And I think, again, over the course of the film, you do end up developing a little bit of empathy for the Jesse Plemons character, more so his brother, which I'll get into. But I like that there's kind of these mixed emotions you have to sort of drive the tension. As always, I think the film is shot really well. I forget the exact cinematographer that Yorgos works with, but I think a lot of the time he is one of the more successful filmmakers we have at employing kind of wide angle, like fisheye lenses, giving what you're seeing kind of an uncanny quality at the same time. Which I think really helps in this case because, the idea, it's connected to a lot of these modern like conspiracy theories and crime stories that we hear about, which are very grounded. But the fact that you're seeing it from this sort of distorted point of view adds this whole sort of uncertainty to everything, which I think is really, kind of crucial for the story. The performances are all really good. Emma Stone from the get-go, her character having her head shaved off in the car. One thing I liked about that was that as soon as she wakes up in the basement, the majority of the movie takes place in the basement. It's sort of an interaction between her and these two characters. She's of course scared, like you can tell she's a little freaked out by the situation, but at the same time, she is, she's a CEO. She's very assertive with herself, and she's doing the thing that she thinks will be easiest in terms of trying to get out of the situation. So I kind of like that right away, that they don't completely like take away her agency or anything like that. I also really like the performance from Aidan Delbus. I believe that's his name, who plays Jesse Plemons' brother. I think the vibe that they're going for is that he is either like autistic or he has some kind of like physical or mental disorder. He has a bit of a speech impediment throughout the film. I think right away you understand that this character is like he's doing what he's doing to help his brother because he loves his brother, not necessarily because he believes the same things, the same kind of alien conspiracies that his brother believes. So I think right away for one, there's sympathy for him, and there's also this kind of tension angle of, well, since he doesn't necessarily believe all the things that his brother believes, is that going to make him like help the Emma Stone character in some way? So you're always kind of have that in the back of your mind, which I think is a fun device. And then the Jesse Plemons performance, I think, is probably the best in the film. I think he's just fantastic. I love the way he kind of grows out all of his facial hair and like just seems really greasy throughout the whole thing. Again, it's just you can tell he's really motivated about all these conspiracies that he's spending time in. And every time the Emma Stone character tries to throw in his face that she's not an alien, that this is all his conspiracy thinking. He's very convincing and kind of pushing back on that in increasingly scary ways. There's this one, I won't totally spoil it, but there's one kind of torture sequence that is really, really disturbing to watch. And I think one of my favorite things in general about the film is how it deals with the idea of conspiracy theories in the modern world and kind of the effect that they have on our lives. The Jesse Plemons character in particular is this guy who's kind of, he works at some sort of he works for the company that Emma Stone is the CEO of. And they don't go into too many details about it, but it's agriculture adjacent, and he works some sort of kind of menial box packing job. And you can tell that he doesn't have a ton of meaning in his life. And I think that the conspiracy theories about like aliens and whatnot have really been kind of filling that void for him and sort of giving his life some sort of purpose. There's a lot of flashbacks in the film that we get with his mom, played by Alicia Silverstone, which was kind of fun to see her in a little cameo role. But yeah, he kind of has this idea that this company has, helped poison his mom, which, he in his mind is, tying to this sort of alien conspiracy. So I think this character, while he, is a little bit off the rails, is very relatable. You can think about sort of different environmental disasters that have happened, like kind of companies screwing over average people. Like there's a lot to relate to. So it's kind of a complicated feeling which that you're sitting with this character, which is always a good thing. Another thing I really liked about the film is that it's really funny. In addition to the fact that they do have all these really interesting kind of character motivations that have ties to our modern world, and the fact that it's really tense for a lot of different reasons, it has this kind of, ironic, sardonic humor the whole time, the way a lot of his films do. It never really takes itself entirely seriously. There's always a bit of giggling that you're having. I think I really like the example. There's a lot of, I think about like Coen Brothers films, for example, that it's like a crime film, but the fact that the characters are so bad at crime makes it funny. There's a lot of that in the film, and there's just a lot that they do with the humor behind how kind of dumb these conspiracy theories are. And along with the humor, one thing I really loved with this, that a little, there's not a ton of characters in this movie. It's mainly like a 3-person movie for the most part. But another character that they have is played by my guy, Stavros Halkias from Come Town and Stabby's World and a bunch of great podcasts. I just couldn't. I thought it was so funny that Yorgos just decided to invite his fellow Greek countrymen to this film. But honestly, he's really good. He plays a cop who is looking for the missing CEO, and he, I think he basically, it's kind of implied that he used to know the Jesse Plemons character in school or in childhood. And so they kind of keep coming into to contact with one another, where you as the audience know that Jesse Plemons is, the one that's kidnapped her, and Stav, of course, doesn't know that. And so there's a lot of fun that they have with that. There's some really funny interactions towards the end of the film. It gets a little bit more tense, I will say. I don't want to spoil it too much, but yeah, I thought it was really fun. I imagine Stav had a great time making this. But while I like this film quite a bit, I was really enjoying myself. I honestly, for most of the movie, I thought this was going to be like one of my 3 to 5 favorite movies of the year. It was just really, really kind of working for me. I absolutely hated the ending. The ending. I haven't heard too many people talk about this in quite the same tone. A lot of people I think have mostly liked the ending as kind of a funny throwaway. I don't want to totally spoil what it is, but my God, I haven't seen an ending in so long that undercuts what the film is doing in terms of the thematic interests, the character growth. It just throws the entire film out the window. Throughout the movie, I kept saying, like, don't end the movie that way. Just like do anything else. Do not end the movie that way. And they did. And it's not just that what I think they did is sort of obvious and you could see it coming or whatever. I think the bigger issue with it is that thematically the film has been giving a lot of empathy to these characters that kind of buy into these conspiracies. And again, I don't want to totally spoil where this goes, but what they do with it in the end, to me, undercuts that for essentially a joke. Like to me, it comes off as Yorgos trying to, it's in the same way that Kinds of Kindness kind of ends on a joke. It's trying to do a similar thing here, but here there's like some psychological. You're supposed to really care about what's going on. I just think this completely undercuts it. So yeah, for me, it was disappointing in how it ended. So for that reason, that again, this was really working for me for most of it. The ending completely screwed it up, but I think for that reason, I'm going to give it 3 stars. Frustrating, not what with the ending, not necessarily one of my favorite films that Yorgos Lanthimos has done in a while, but really interesting, and for a while, just the tension of it was working for me so much. I think this is definitely worth checking out, especially if you're a Yorgos Lanthimos fan. Anyway, that's going to do it for this video. Please like the video down below and subscribe to the channel if you're new. I've got more videos coming out soon, and I will see you guys in the next one. See ya.